January to April of 1973, Lee gives over to the filming of Enter the Dragon. Again, his schedule allows him to resume working on additional ideas for the Game of Death. It's mid-July of 1973, the final week of his life.
Okay, so what you're hearing now is the P-SB7 going into video audio port, into the electronic voice phenomena audio recorder that records and repeats. So there's 1 second delay between 1 to 5 second delay. And we're going to ask, is Bruce Lee here? Because the other day I seen Bruce Lee's ghost, and that's why I'm doing this session. I want to find out why he appeared to me. If it was him at all. Because it did not look like my imagination. It was real as a real person. Did you hear that? That sounded like Bruce Lee saying fight or something like that. I think he's back. Is that you, Bruce Lee? Are you back?
If you try to remember, you will lose. Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. Put it into a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or creep or drip or crash. Be water, my friend.
Yeah. Fight.
Did you hear that? That sounded like Bruce Lee saying fight or something like that. I think he's back. Is that you, Bruce Lee? Are you back?
To write about his new insight and its application to martial art. His writings will fill 7 large volumes. Slowly, Lee begins to battle back. Although the back injury will prove to be a permanent problem, within 6 months, he has proven both the naysayers and the medical community wrong. Not only is he able to kick again, he becomes a better martial artist than he ever was before. Lee's harrowing experience, coupled with his new insight, served to underscore for him the validity of his belief that there is no help but self-help, including help in the form of instruction in the art of unarmed combat.
Yeah. Fight.
Did you hear that? That sounded like Bruce Lee saying fight or something like that. I think he's back. Is that you, Bruce Lee? Are you back? Hello. Are you Bruce Lee? If you're Bruce Lee, can you talk into this radio here? It'll pick up your voice.
Yeah. Fight.
Did you hear that? That sounded like Bruce Lee saying fight or something like that. I think he's back. Is that you, Bruce Lee? Are you back?
And I do this. It's just a total freedom to react to what the other person does. In fact, Bruce inscribes it perfectly on the back of this medallion, where he wrote the words that have become his motto. And it says, using no way as way, having no limitation as limitation. Over the years, this phrase has been somewhat misinterpreted, and people think of using no way as way to mean anything I do is okay, and anything I do is my way. I don't think Bruce really intended it to mean that way. He just meant not to be boxed in by a certain way. So,
Fight.
Did you hear that? That sounded like Bruce Lee saying fight or something like that. I think he's back. Is that you, Bruce Lee? Are you back? Hello? Can you say something? Okay, let's switch the audio ports here.
So this is Michelle walking in from the right in between these two trees. Now the gentleman that just stepped out from the left-hand side and crossed through her was not there.
Nor did I see him, feel him, have any idea that he was there. I had a recorder in my hand and headphones on, and I was talking to the gentleman that is supposedly in that space a lot, and I was calling out his name, and his name is Amos, and I was saying, Amos, are you there? Can you come talk to us? And I'm kind of looking down, and I'm looking around, and I put my hand up because he's focusing the camera on me, and that's what I was doing. I don't know if you can see it on there or not. I don't remember. I think it is, but in the very beginning of that clip, as it opens up, you see this pop of UV, this big purple flash, which has always been really interesting to me. It's one of those things that we look deeply at as well. Why suddenly we saw that pop and then we see him, and it almost looks like he's leaning against the tree, pushes off the tree, and moves around it, which has always been really intriguing to me too. There's a moment where he's very see-through as well. If you look back at the footage, you can see through him. You can see the building behind him, and you can see trees and bushes. You know,
Should I run it again?
Yeah, let's run it again. You can see the greenery and whatnot.
And if to think about it, if we are talking about an electromagnetic energy or a photonic energy that can affect us and touch us, it's not going to be in infrared or the longer wavelengths. As the wavelengths get shorter and shorter and shorter, and infrared is a longer wavelength than UV in the spectrum, the shorter the wavelength gets, the more energy is packed into it.
Well, Kung Fu is originated in China. It is the ancestor of karate and jiu-jitsu. It's more of a complete system, and it's more fluid. By that I mean it's more flowing. There is continuity in movement instead of one movement, two movement, and then stop.
I see. What's the difference between a Kung Fu punch and a karate punch?
Well, a karate punch is like an iron bar, wham. A Kung Fu punch is like an iron chain with an iron ball attached to the end, and it go whang, and it hurt inside.
What is this thing you do?
In Cantonese, Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist.
Intercepting fist, huh?
Or foot. Come on, touch me. Any way you can. To reach me, you must move to me. Your attack offers me an opportunity to intercept you. In this case, I'm using my longest weapon, my sidekick, against the nearest target, your kneecap. This can be compared to your left jab in boxing, except it's much more damaging.
I see. Well, speaking of a left jab...
Oh, this time I intercept your emotional tenseness. You see, from your thought to your fist, how much time was lost.
I think he's back. Is that you, Bruce Lee? Are you back? Are you Bruce Lee? Do you want to be heard? Now, as you can see, the P-SB7 spirit box is going to the EVP recorder, which records and repeats. So it's... Turn down the volume a bit. Bruce Lee, is this you? Did you hear that? He said, it is. Now, the only bad situation about this EVP recorder, it repeats it very quickly. repeats it very quickly, and fast forward speed, so it sounds like a chipmunk. So you can't really make out his voice, but we'll try.
Fight.
Did you hear that? That sounded like Bruce Lee saying fight or something like that. I think he's back. Is that you, Bruce Lee? Are you back? Bruce Lee, is this you? If it is you, say yes. Did you hear that? He said yes. Bruce Lee, why did you...
I hope that the picture I am in would either explain why the violence was done, whether right or wrong or whatnot. But unfortunately, pictures, most of them here, are done mainly just for the sake of violence. You know what I mean? Like, fighting for 30 minutes, get stabbed 50 times.
Well, I'm fascinated. Let me give you your microphone back. I'm fascinated that you came back.
I am a martial artist.
He's offered very little money to star in his first film, but then money has never been his sole objective. The film is entitled The Big Boss, and it will become the highest-grossing film in Southeast Asian history. Lee follows up the unprecedented success of his first film with a second, Fist of Fury. It proceeds to smash the records set by The Big Boss.
Bruce didn't want to be segmented in that he could only do Chinese movies or only do Chinese martial arts. He didn't view himself as only a Chinese man. He viewed himself as a citizen of the world who had a mission that really had nothing to do with what his nationality was.
Yeah. Fight.
Did you hear that? That sounded like Bruce Lee saying fight or something like that. I think he's back. Is that you, Bruce Lee? Are you back? Bruce Lee, why did you appear to me the other day? Turn up the volume. Are you Bruce Lee? If you are, can you count to 5 and say yes? Did you hear that? 1, 2, 3, in singing. 3, 4, 5. Are you really Bruce Lee? Or someone else? Did you hear that? He said, ni hao. I think that's Chinese, I think. I'm not sure. Bruce Lee, can you say something that... Something about helping? Bruce Lee, why did you appear to me? Do you need the help from the living? Because you looked fine to me.